welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we're here to talk about the movie Speed. This movie released in the summer of 1994, and it stars Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, Sandra Bullock, and Jeff Daniels. You want a true definition of an awesome 90s action flick that's always super fun to watch? Speed is that movie. I have a vague memory of seeing this in theaters when I was a 4-year-old at the time. I remember bits and pieces of it, but it's been a while since I have watched this movie in full. So I finally decided to give this movie a spin, and I was wowed how amazing this movie was, pulse pounding and adrenaline fueled. This is a movie that keeps you riveted throughout the entire ride. I'm going to be talking about spoilers so I can talk about this movie a little bit more freely. So if you haven't seen this movie, that's just shocking. You don't want to be spoiled. This is your last warning. Well, let's get cracking. The movie story follows a police officer, Jack Traven, who foils a plot to bomb an elevator in a building with hostages inside. This angers the terrorists, of course, and causes him to retaliate by planting a bomb on the undercarriage of a bus and forces Jack into his own sick little game. Once the bus goes over 50 miles per hour, it arms the bomb. If the bus doesn't remain at a constant momentum of 50 miles an hour, that means the bus will explode, like The terrorist explains the rules that if the officer attempts to rescue hostages in any way, he will detonate the bus. Jack must do everything he can to have the bus constantly moving as they face many obstacles along the way, whether it be traffic, roadwork, construction, you name it. What I really liked about this movie is how fast-paced this movie is. It doesn't meander at all, and it never feels dragged out in any scenes. It immediately gets right to the point, and then you're off from there. For a movie that's a little shy of 2 hours long, does not feel like it at all. Right when the movie first hooks you in at the opening, you're reeled in right into the action. There is literally no stopping. We may know Keanu Reeves more as a funny, goofy guy because of Bill and Ted movies, until we first saw him more as an action star, starting with 1991's Point Break. From then on, we started seeing him more in action movies ranging from Speed, the Matrix movies, and also the John Wick movies. In this particular movie, Speed, he's really good with his performances. From what I've read on IMDb, he actually does a majority of his own stunts, believe it or not. The stunts that he does in this movie are truly mind-blowing. Dennis Hopper plays a bad guy in the movie, and he does so very well. His character is so charismatic and antagonizes Keanu Reeves' character just perfectly. The story behind his character is that he is a retired police officer who used to work on a bomb squad team. In the past, he tried to defuse a bomb and does so unsuccessfully, which results leaving his left hand severely burned and loses a thumb in the process. Afterwards, he was forced into retirement as he proved to be ineffective to do his job anymore. He loses his sanity and decides he wants to become a criminal and uses his knowledge of bombs to become rich regardless of the amount of lives that he takes. As far as other supporting characters go, Sandra Bullock plays a civilian that winds up being the driver of the bus after the actual driver gets shot in a little hustle. She plays the part tremendously, and she's not your typical damsel in distress in this movie. She becomes almost like a hero in her own aspect. Jeff Daniels plays a cop who works alongside with Keanu Reeves' character, and he is more of the brains of the team. He is great in this movie as well. In all honesty, all of the characters in this movie are just simply amazing, and they're all written very well. Another great thing about this movie were the tense action scenes on board the bus. The majority of the movie takes place on the bus, whereas the bus actually becomes a prevalent character of its own in a way, so to speak. You have scenes where the bus makes a hard turn, leaving it almost tipping over, jumping a gap on an unfinished freeway, and just weaving in and out of traffic. The amount of stunt work with a bus is truly mesmerizing. From what I also read while doing research on this movie is that Sandra Bullock actually learned how to drive a bus for her role in this movie. Now, let's talk about the movie's soundtrack that was composed by Mark Mancina, which is another main highlight of the movie. You may know his work from other movies such as Twister and also Disney's Tarzan. The soundtrack is so good in this movie, it pumps you up for every scene, sets the mood perfectly. Overall, Speed is one of the best action movies of all time, and it still looks good to this very day. It's easy to say that it is a flawlessly made movie, and director Jan de Bont did a phenomenal job working on this movie. I give this movie an A+. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Keep up with my real reviews.